Welcome to Dove and Dragon Radio. I'm your host, M.L.Ruscsak. I'm here with my special guest, Emmanuel. And please, for our viewers and our listeners, how do you pronounce your last name?
It is Enime, so Emmanuel Enime.
Yeah, I will never get that. I'm the queen of butchering names, including my own, so we'll just leave it at that. But what is it that you do exactly?
So the simple answer is I'm a preacher.
Okay.
The a little bit more complicated answer is I'm a character coach. And so that requires a little bit of explanation. And so people need to know what character is. So character is the person on the inside. So that person who is fearful or courageous, or the person who is patient or impulsive, the person who is forgiving or unforgiving and bitter. That person on the inside is your character. And so part of my work, part of my God-given purpose is to help people make that person on the inside more attractive.
Right. It's all about making the better you as a person. It's finding the best version of you, not the person that we need to see out in the world, but who are you to begin with in your inner self?
Correct. And well, here's the thing though. Once you start to strengthen the person on the inside, it is literally going to show on the outside. Mm-hmm. Like people can feel your joy, or people can feel your courage, or people can feel your faith. As that starts to grow on the inside of you, let me put it this way. I sometimes say that human beings are like a piece of fruit, mm-hmm. ripe on the inside, ripe on the outside, mm-hmm. rotten on the inside, rotten on the outside. And so as your character starts to be transformed and strengthened, then people can see this on your persona. People can hear this in your speech. And the ideal place that a person needs to get their character is, I can continue working on my mission, my God-given purpose, with joy, no matter what happens. So I can go through difficulties and still keep working on my mission.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It goes to, we're on the same path here a little bit, between being a pastor and a mindset coach, and you're a preacher and a coach yourself. So it's a character coach, a little bit on the same path. At the same time, it all starts with within. If you change your within, your outlook on anything, then you start projecting to the world the person you truly are meant to be. You find your divine path.
Correct. And you said divine path, and I smile at that because the process of finding my purpose was this absolutely unforgettable journey. I had to step outside of my comfort zone many times. I read poems to a couple of strangers on the street. I had not written poetry before, but that was also stepping outside of my comfort zone. I've talked to people from all different walks of life. I mean, from older gentlemen, older woman to a young kids, 10 years old. In my communicating to them the gospel, am I communicating to them preaching? I'm also having conversations with people. And it was through that, plus other things that God had me doing, where I literally had to discover my purpose. And it is an unforgettable journey. And that transformation is, this is something that people are craving, and they don't even realize that their souls are craving this journey, and they're craving to find their purpose. And so that's part of my work, is to help people find their purpose. But there are things about a person that will block them from finding their purpose, that will block them from staying within their purpose. I mean, things
There's
like,
temptation out there everywhere. I mean,
yeah,
regardless of what it is, there's temptation out there for everything. And you can find temptation that keeps you on that couch, eating your popcorn, complaining about your life, rather than taking it and going, okay, I need to grow. What do I need to do to grow beyond where I'm at? And the first step is always stepping outside your comfort zone. If you're comfortable, you're not going to grow, you're not going to change, and you're not going to project the best you to the universe.
correct. And you know, part of the reason why people don't take that leap of faith and step outside of their comfort zone again, and again, is because, well, one, they don't even know where to begin.
Mhm.
And so that is one of those things that will make someone shy away from a new task, because they just don't know where to begin. But also, deep down inside, a lot of people know, man, I have a lot of work to do, and the amount of work is too great. And then for some people, it's both. I know the amount of work is too great, and I have no clue where to begin.
Mhm.
And so this is part of a father's role, is to prepare their child's character for this life. And in this life is a game, and built into this game called life is tragedy and difficulty. And so part of a father's role is to prepare their child's character for this life, so that this way the child can, as they grow, go gr- get into their mission and have that mindset to to continue in their mission no matter what life throws at them. And so that's part of my work, to be a father to the fatherless, because many people don't have that father. Many people don't have that parent who is helping them, who has helped prepare their
Right?
characters
They
to
don't
handle
have
this
those
life.
positive role models. We have the celebrities on TV that we can see, and they may be positive, negative, depending on how our mindset is. But we don't have them in our community as we did 50, 60, 70 years ago.
And you actually said a very important point in regards to celebrities and role models. So this is one of the tricks that exists in this game called life. And one of the tricks is that people think success is hey, I've made it to this level as an actor or a footballer, and I have this much money. Yeah, that's success, but real success is the ability to recognize temptation, as you said, and run from it again and again and again and again. That's success, because that ability to to recognize temptation, because it comes in many different forms, in many different shapes. And so the ability to see that and run the other way. So as opposed to staying on your couch and eating chips. Now, I'm not opposed to getting relaxation, because that's part.
Yeah,
Sometimes you got to
exactly.
pop. Sometimes you got to pop some chips. But this is where it's important to have a schedule, so that this way you can work relaxation into your schedule. Maybe you get your schedule good enough to where once a year you can take a large amount of time off to just straight up relax, or be more so spontaneous. But nonetheless, what's important is this: success is the ability to flee temptation, to recognize it again and again and again and again. Because in this life, from your beginning until your end, it will always be there, and it will always be there to try and pull people down, and to divert people from doing their God-given purpose.
Exactly. There's a couple of different things with success. One, you have to define it for yourself. You can't have, okay, here's a celebrity up here making how many millions of dollars for whatever they're doing. Doesn't matter what medium they're in. Is that your version of success, that you need to be there making money and being negative? Or is your version being the celebrity that makes money and gives most of it away because they don't need the money? They just want to do the art. Their version of success is doing the art and gives the money away to people that need it.
Correct. Yeah. So I guess let me say this. I didn't want to demonize money or anything like that. I'm not saying that.
No,
Because
money's not a demon. It's how you use it.
right, right. And so it's an effective tool to, yeah. And so, like you said, that's a form of success, and people need to be mindful of that, and people need to be constantly reminded. Look, don't focus on the outside. Focus on the inside. Don't focus
Right.
on what you see. Focus on the inside. And once you do that, and that's the beautiful thing about improving your character, is it actually makes you more effective in your work. And a large part of that is because all of these distractions, fear, doubt, worry, unforgiveness, anger, bitterness, impatience, impulsiveness, all of those distractions, once you work on your character, are pushed out of the way. And so this way you are tunnel vision, focused on getting from here to the end of your mission. And so you're not distracted by all of these things.
Right. It starts
And
with the two simple questions. Are you happy where you're at? What is making you happy or unhappy? How do you get to being happy? Then, are you grateful for what you have? Once you can answer that, then you can figure out your why, you're not or are in both of those, and fix it. But it starts with fixing yourself in your heart, in your mind first.
indeed, I like the way you said, "Are you grateful for what you have?" That was nice. Wait, where are you at right now?
Today I'm in Ohio.
Okay. Okay. All right.
So,
Fair enough.
but I travel a lot too. So, but that's the lifestyle I have. I travel. Why? Because traveling makes me happy. I don't like to be confined in one space.
Okay. So where you're originally from, I assume the States, right?
I'm in the state, yeah. I'm
Eh,
originally from Ohio, travel all over Ohio, travel Nevada, Florida, Georgia, wherever I need to go. But I have a great mentor down in Texas that a couple years ago, are you grateful? What do you have to be grateful for? And it took me by surprise because I am the happiest person in the world normally. What am I grateful for? I'm grateful to be alive. If you go through my story, I should not be alive today. I'm grateful every morning just to wake up.
That's that is a very good thing. So in regards to gratefulness, do you feel like you notice that as you're traveling around Ohio that many other people have that same gratefulness as you?
No, they have
No.
other reasons they are grateful, but usually, unless you go through a traumatic experience, you're not grateful just to be alive.
Okay. I understand what you mean. So it's like if a person hasn't necessarily seen the very, very difficult or the very, very dark sides of life, they don't know how good they have it.
Exactly. You don't
Yeah.
understand until everything is taken away how good you have things. I have been and have 28 years old. I've had 3 strokes at 28. I should be dead. How many people have one stroke and don't live to see the next day? I have been
Wow.
through the domestic violence and survived it. How many people don't survive to leave the relationship? So I am grateful for every day I'm here. That is my gratefulness. It's not the money, it's not the travel. Yeah, I like those things, but I'm grateful just to be alive.
To, to God be the glory. And like you said, a lot of people don't survive things like health issues,
Mhm,
relationship issues. People get pushed uh, to the edge in a relationship, get pushed into deep depression
mhm.
because of the way a partner is treating them. And to make it to the other side, yeah, that's that is something to celebrate day in and day out. And that's that's one of those things about character is when it's strengthened, it gives you that ability to withstand difficulties, tragedies, the the pain that life can sometimes throw at us, and but to experience these and to experience it with joy. For a while, when I would hear this passage in the Bible about Jesus seeing that he had the cross, having to go to the cross coming up, and one of the writers said he and he faced it with joy. And for me, I'm like, man, it's a bit of a tough situation. You know, you're going to the cross to die, falsely accused, and you face that situation with joy. But now I understand. Now I get it. Because once once the joy part of your character is developed, then you learn how to defend that part of your character to make sure that our opponent in this life doesn't steal that joy from you, no matter what happens. And so that's part of that's part of developing the character, is also developing your joy and and your happiness. And as you're going through character workouts, character exercises, you'll notice, I mean, literally, you will feel your joy growing from day to day. And one of the easy go-to character workouts that in the future I'll have people going through is witnessing. So as a Christian, we're called to go out and tell people the good things that Jesus Christ has done for us. But to get to that point, to be able to talk to complete strangers, your character needs to be improved. Courage, ability to have small talk conversations, ability to handle rejection, the ability to keep going, the ability to have hope and to even be patient with people as you're talking to them. And so that's one of those things that I'm looking forward to helping people with, is developing their character through character workouts, through character exercises. And so this way, as they face the difficulties that life is going to throw at us, then this way they can face it with joy and keep doing their mission, because that's what our opponent in this game called life wants to stop us from doing. The devil wants to stop us from doing our God-given mission. And so this is why it's important for people to connect to Jesus Christ, so he can give us the strength to take the hits and to keep going.
True. And
Yeah.
while you're building these character workshops, you have to also express that it's going to be a hard road. If you go back and start listening to my radio show from 5 years ago, you'll see a totally different person in myself than I am today. Was I a reverend 4 years ago? Yes, I've been a reverend since 2006. But did I understand I have a voice, and was I happy and grateful? No, it's taken years for me to find my voice. Why? Because I had to develop my character. I had to develop the parts
What
of
do you mean
me.
by what do you mean by find your voice?
Oh, I was shy. I was quiet. I could not carry on small talk. I could not talk to people at all 4 years ago.
Okay. What did you do specifically? Did you just say, I'm going to keep going, I'm going to keep going? Or
My personal journey, this is very cool. 2016, I was in Vegas promoting my new books with what I call pop-up podcast. And I was there just promoting my new book that I had written. Now, me writing,
why did you write that book?
it was my third book. I had, after my strokes, I couldn't talk well. I could not write. with pen and paper, but I could type it on keyboard. My then husband said, I bet you can't write a book and get it published. Okay, I'm one of those people, don't challenge me to do something because I would find a way to do it. When you say, I bet you can't, I may not take the challenge right then and there, but I'm always going to remember it. So I took that and got my first book. Now I had a lot of rejection letters from publishers, but one finally published me. I am now on book 17 and own a publishing company.
Okay.
Okay, but in 2016, this was my third book. So I'm out in Vegas and I'm starting to get out of my comfort zone. And I did a pop-up podcast. Well, some radio station in Atlanta, Georgia, heard me do the podcast and invited me to be a host on their radio show. Now, me, I am scared to death to talk to people. If you go back and listen to the interviews, you'll hear it in my voice because it wasn't a video. I didn't start doing videos until 2020.
Okay.
And I had to find what is out of my comfort zone. Why? What's the worst that can happen? Okay, this is a question I asked myself before I did it. What's the worst that can happen? No one listens to the show, or I get negative reviews. That's not end of the world. That is not a end of the world, atomic evolution, no more humanity in the world, you know?
Right.
It's not the end. It just means I need to grow. And here we are on season 4 of Treant Press's Dove and Dragon Radio with the season 2 now in video.
Okay. And so you just kept going. You're like, you know what? I'm going to keep going.
Mm-hmm.
Was there any like one particular trick that you use or anything you did for your mindset to say, you know what, let me go. Let me keep going.
My mentor down in Texas, Antonio T. Smith, who's also a reverend or a pastor. I'm sorry, he's a pastor, not a reverend. Let me get it right. Was, what are you afraid of? We met on one of the radio shows and he was promoting his book, which is a self-help guide. What are you afraid of? Why are you not talking with your voice? You're so shy and timid. Why? He didn't know at that time, when we started this in 2016, I was in a domestic violence relationship. My why was fear from my spouse at that time. But it took that question, and he started working with me every once in a while, and it's become one of my best friends and my mentor, both in business and others, to help me grow. Because why am I fearful? What was making me fearful? When I said I get over the fear, now I can grow. Once you start growing, every day you grow more and more and more. And you find these negative things in your past can't hold you back like the crabs in the bucket. They can't do it anymore. They don't have that pull over you. And you can leave it in the past.
And I mean, you've nailed it. And with what you've said, it's like you can grow. And as you said, atomic bomb isn't going to go off. What's the worst that can happen? And so that's one of those things that as people get taught and they get help, then they can also understand and have that same viewpoint as helped you, as you've described. It's like, what is the worst that can happen? So, and once people take off those shackles of fear and doubt and worry and worried about what this person thinks, worried about what that person thinks. Once people take off those shackles of fear, then they can move forward in life. They can move forward and get there. And once you get that momentum, it's like a snowball.
Mhm.
And you're going and you're going and what book did you say you're at now? 16 or
17.
17? 17. Man,
17. Plus, I write for a magazine. So that's on issue 8 now. And I write in every issue. So I'm constantly doing things to improve myself, improve my writing, improve my voice, because I don't have to be quiet. I don't have to be shy. I don't have to do all these things, all the negative people in my life have told me I have to be. That's not who I am. That's not at my core who I want to be.
so did people give you negativity in regards to this current show that, or this
I
radio
don't,
show that?
the radio show, I don't listen to the negative. All my negative was when I was my first book. Oh, you wrote a book, you're not an author. You're doing modeling. Well, you're only doing print modeling, you're not really a model. I've done things for myself that make me happy, and I let fear let me be held back. Well, I don't have to listen to the naysayers. I don't have to listen to the negative. Actually, I look at the negative as, oh, okay, I need to improve on this.
Okay, that's a good mindset, because that'll happen as we're going through this life. Um, the negative opinions will come from others, and sometimes that's a good thing, because then we can self-reflect and say, maybe that person has a good point, or maybe that person has a point. They maybe didn't say it in the best way, but I'm going to take their criticism and see, is it something that I can apply to my life? Is it something that I can use to improve myself? And
Correct.
so, yeah, and so that's the efficiency of development. You're taking the positives, you're taking the negatives, and taking it all and saying, hey, you know what? Let's improve. Let's improve with both. Uh, so you said something that someone said. I want to understand the same statement, that on your first book they said, "Oh, you wrote a book, but you're not an author." What does that mean?
I don't know. And it was a relative that said it.
Okay, I'm like, what does that mean?
I have no idea what they meant. I guess because their version of success for an author means you're in on Walmart bookshelves, you're in Barnes and Noble bookstores, actually on the floor, not just online. I guess that's their measure of success for an author. I don't know. That's not my measure of success. That's theirs. My measure of success is it's published, it's in publication, it has an ISBN number. I'm a published author. Does that mean I'm in every bookstore in the world? No, I don't need to be. That's not my version of success. My version of success is I wrote a book. I'm happy with my book. If 10 people read my book, yay me. I don't care. I love that they read my book. I love if they reach out and give me feedback, but that's not my measure of success that I have to be on the New York bestseller list.
Okay, well, I'm hopeful that one day you will be on that
Oh,
New
I will
York
be
best.
eventually. I mean, when you turn out 17 books, eventually someone's going to read it, right?
Yeah, yeah, indeed. And as you continue, like you said, as you continue to grow, you 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 did that show in Vegas, and then you got the radio gig in Atlanta,
Uh-huh.
and then the pastor from Texas came to help you, and it's kind of this snowball effect. and it's just one step at a time, moving forward, one step at a time, and you're continuing to grow and improve, and as your character improves, then your performance improves as well. Because like I was saying, you get those things out of your way that are affecting, pulling you back, affecting your performance.
But we
Yeah.
are almost out of time. So where can our listeners and our viewers find you?
So right now, people can find me on Instagram. And that is right now where I am teaching fundamentals of character. And so my name on Instagram is Emmanuel Enime, and it's spelled so they can hear: E like Esther, M like Matthew, M like Matthew, A like Adam, N like Noah, U like umbrella, E like Esther, L like love, E like Esther, N like Noah, I like Israel, M like Matthew, E like Esther. And they can find me there. And right now I'm teaching fundamentals that will help them understand their character and help them understand the trials and difficulties that they're going to face in this life. And then from there, once they understand fundamentals, then they can start putting things into practice.
That's what we need. We need people to grow. We need you to be happy and fruitful in your lives.
And indeed. Yeah, that's I mean, it's a good thing. It is a good thing to be happy and fruitful in your life. I mean, it's just so much joy. Sometimes it's just like the joy is like bubbling up inside of you, and it's a good place for
It is.
everybody on the planet to be.
We do need you there. But for all of our viewers and our listeners, happy growing.